I got the invitation to go on this Armed Lutheran radio show, though. You know this guy? Have you seen this? There's two things that I would like to say that make me feel safe. Number one, the fact that there is a radio show called the Armed Lutheran Podcast somewhere in the world. That makes me feel safer.
Bringing you law, gospel, and guns. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Armed Lutheran Radio, a show about guns, hunting, competitive shooting, the natural right of self-defense, and what God's Word says about the issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. I am your host, Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran, and this is episode number 385. It is our November online hangout for 2023. Although we're recording this December 1st, we are going to be airing this on December 3rd. And so, although this is going to be a December episode, because of scheduling and all of that good stuff, we just weren't able to get a hangout done in November. So this is the almost November online hangout. And we will be doing a December online hangout here in a couple of weeks, which will be our probably our final new episode for 2023. As we do our annual hangout and giveaway, as we'll draw for some prizes. And if you would like to come and join us, if you'd like to support the show and be a part of all this craziness, check out armedlutheran.us/gun club or reformationgunclub.com. Sign up today for as little as $15.17 per year is the lowest tier, and we'd love to have you join us for a future online hangout. Hopefully in 2024 we will have more we'll get a regular schedule together where we're actually having our hangouts in the month when they're actually supposed to happen. So let's see here. You'll be meeting our bunch of our members as usual. Let's see. And Dan and the Padre. There's Dan. I haven't seen him in ages.
It's been a busy time of year.
It has. It's good to see you. Let's see here. And of course, William. Pastor, how are you?
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. I'm not at volleyball practice, which is awesome. This gives me an excuse.
Are you good or are you well?
I am well. I'm doing well, yes. Thank you for the correction. You pedantic sausage. Let's see here. I am not sure who this is. Guillaume's membership is expired, but he's here anyway, so we'll just bring him on in.
Probably why you didn't get the email.
Oh, did you send it to him?
Yeah, because he was trying to get hold of you.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Pastor.
Hey.
How are you? And friend. With something delicious to drink, it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Little Bobo tea.
Boba tea.
Ah, all right. And I have no idea who this is because I do not know what this.
KJ7IZ.
You didn't send out emails to just anybody and everybody, did you? Send it on blast?
No, just Guillaume. He was on the Armed Lutheran web Facebook thing.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
Is this Donny? There he is.
Yeah, that's my ham radio call sign.
Okay.
You must have gotten.
I'm trying something different tonight. Is my video and audio coming through good?
It is,
Yeah.
and they're in sync, which is awesome.
Yeah, well,
You must
I
be
told
back
my wife
home.
she couldn't stream a program when I was on the Hangout.
You're back home with internet service. That's awesome.
Well, I also strung a cable between the router and, well, not the router, but the modem and I'm using my desktop tonight.
Instead of Wi-Fi. Okay. For a second there, I was thinking maybe you were pirating your neighbor's internet or something when you're talking about stringing wires.
That's probably my neighbor pirating mine.
Might want to change your Wi-Fi password. Mike, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing well. Good to have you with us.
Good to be here. I missed the last one. I'm glad to be on this one.
Good deal. All right. Well, let's go around the horn. We got some folks that haven't been here in a while we need to catch up with. So we'll start with Dan, who has not been with us in a month of Sundays.
Well, it's starting up at if it's a weekday here on the East Coast, like it's 9 o'clock right now, and I'm usually fizzling out,
Right.
after work, and that's been part of it.
I started scheduling them 30 minutes earlier just to make it a little easier for folks.
Yeah. Like everybody spent the holidays, with the family, working my tail off, cooking food, ribs, turkey, all of this kind of thing.
Nice.
After it was all done, my wife and I kind of looked at each other and says, we're passing the torch.
Let the kids do it next year.
Yeah. Kids, cats, nephews, nieces, all that stuff. It's about time y'all learned how to cook, kind of thing.
This is an annual tradition, I guess. Where all do your family spread out there? And
they spread out at my dining room table.
No. I mean, maybe more specific. Where in North Carolina, or are they all in North Carolina? Where do they all come from?
Yeah, I got nephews that live about 3 miles from me. My brother and the rest of the nieces and nephews and that live in Raleigh.
Okay. I'm trying to think how far from where you are.
About a couple hours. Yeah. My brother, he's recovering quite well from a massive heart attack.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, the story is long, but it's a Holy Spirit one, It's it's like, man, he's not moving or breathing. He's dead. And he came back to life,
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, everything worked in his favor, the sun
until it didn't. Or is he okay?
No, he's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks be to God.
He recovered. Absolutely. He's recovering really, really well.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks to, the son-in-law, a policeman, Wake County EMS, a cardiac doctor that was having lunch in the area and heard the call. all of this kind.
So all the stars aligned and it just worked out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything lined up. Crazy straight line. And, so he was here last weekend, wanted to go to the range. So, off we went, blast down some plates and,
nothing better for, recovering from a heart attack than lots of, concussive noise.
Yeah, that's it. And, to help dispose of a rack of ribs and, some turkey and gravy.
Nice. Is the ribs a usual thing? Or
no.
It should be. It sounds
Well,
like it.
that's what the discussion was.
Oh,
Okay. It's like, is there a rule out there that says it's got to be turkey? Well, no. Okay. We'll buy a rack of ribs and throw them in the smoker with the turkey.
as long as there's meat involved, that's the important thing.
That's right.
All right, let's go around the horn. Mike, you missed the last one. How was Thanksgiving? Oh, hey, you're getting ahead of us.
Yeah. Oh, getting ahead. Okay. Sorry.
Well,
I see no problem.
I missed the last one. Sorry, you guys finished?
Yep, we're good.
Last one, but I've never been on before. I joined recently, probably 2 months ago.
Yep.
I've been listening to you for years on and off, so I appreciate everything you've put out in your the books and all that good stuff. I'm definitely a follower there.
Thanks for the support. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I figured I may as well support you in other ways, and I figured this hangout would be a cool thing to join up and meet some new people. So I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Maryland. So Dan, I understand. I was like, oh, it's 9:00. I'm getting home. But I made it this time. But yeah, Thanksgiving was good. A lot of things going on. I am in the firearms industry. Trying to branch out and do some new things as well, bringing on some SRT guys, or one particular special response team guy that I know, and doing some shooting with him, bringing him on board, and trying to get into some force on force stuff as well. To just, wintertime is hard to get people out to the range. So gotta think outside the box.
Yeah.
In Maryland.
Yes, in Maryland.
In Texas, not so much. We don't have the same kind of. That's the reason why we're here in Texas. Actually, is to get away from that cold weather.
I got it. Good to know. Maybe I need to move.
What's Thanksgiving tradition like in your household? What do you guys do?
Very simple. Matter of fact, we did Thanksgiving with my parents on Wednesday, and then Thursday, my wife's parents, we had them over. So it's just real simple, relaxed. Yeah, we had turkey, but we're not opposed to other. Usually in the old days, it was venison at my grandfather's.
Oh, okay, nice.
To do venison for Thanksgiving, but so it's good. It's always a good time to reflect.
Excellent. Guillaume, you haven't been with us in a while, and shame on you for not renewing your membership. But tell us what Thanksgiving was like and what you've been up to since last we saw you. We've missed you.
I finally got able to get through today to finally renew it. I've been trying for like a week, knowing this is coming up, and it kept on like kicking me out. So it miraculously it worked today.
Okay. Ping me whenever, if you ever have a problem with the site at all, just ping me and I'll see if I can fix it as quick as I can.
We just been having lots of conflicts between scheduling and when we sit down together and be here, but we kind of said, well, we haven't been here, Rob. We're just going to like clear the calendar. Wanted to hang out, because she really enjoys it. She's if anything, she's the one that's always made the card. Oh, we got to put on our movie radio. It's like, like, okay,
raising her right.
But Thanksgiving for us is normally, a turkey. We like putting Zataran's, Tony Satri's turkey butter herb injection into it. That's really good.
Ooh.
And of course, we make the gravy from the turkey and homemade cranberry sauce. And if we have our in-laws come in from Tulsa, they always bring in homemade cherry pie and pecan pie and pumpkin pie and
nice
and all that good stuff there. We just get fat and then we watch a game and hope the Cowboys lose.
I'm in Texas and I do too,
But mostly I've been working on my because this time of year it's cooler, so I'm starting to work more on making more knives, because it's you're sitting there with the torch and you're hot and whatnot. It's nice when it's colder outside to do that, as opposed to August. And been working on my Doyle Irish stick fighting, and my knife fighting, and then my wife changed jiu-jitsu gyms, so she said we need to go. You need to go practice at jiu-jitsu at her gym. So I said okay. So I'm working on that and getting beat up regularly.
Okay. That sounds delightful. Not. I need to buy one of your knives. They look awesome. Pastor Bennett, how are you? How was Thanksgiving for you? And you guys are a ways from family. What's Thanksgiving like in around the parsonage and there in Minnesota?
Actually, we do have family out here. So my in-laws live out here.
Your in-laws are how far are they?
About 30 miles away.
30 miles.
Yeah, it's great.
Is it at your house
Easter
or
we were out here?
Travel.
They came here this year. My wife's been having back issues.
Oh.
My father-in-law's both had been having back issues too. So I got everything ready. Well, with some help from the wife and the daughters to make the Thanksgiving meal, but it was good. It was good. For us, holidays are typically just my immediate family and then my in-laws.
Okay.
And I get along with my in-laws. So,
you better. They're only 30 miles away.
That's right. But you hear about these people who, they hate their mother-in-law, and I'm closer to my in-laws than I am to my own parents. So
yeah. Well, good. What's the typical fare at the Bennett household?
If I had my way, it'd be steak. But turkey, dressing, and it's a homemade dressing that it's an old family recipe on my wife's side. Mashed potatoes and gravy, 2 different kinds of green beans, cranberry sauce, pies.
Traditional good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then long naps.
All the stuff that I'm not going to tell my cardiologist about at the next appointment.
No.
So, do you put liver or sausage in your stuffing?
Sausage in the stuffing. We do sausage. And then the giblets, those get boiled and then ground up through the meat grinder, and that goes into the gravy.
Oh, okay.
What style of cranberry sauce do you use? The jellied kind or the other kind?
The homemade kind. Where you boil the cranberries and mix in the sugar and all that. Yeah.
We always have to do 2 kinds. At my house, we have the ones for the people that enjoy the homemade kind, and then we have the people that like the canned kind, like me.
Oh. Well, your dad has to work harder to convert you, because, gosh, I used to love the canned kind, and then when I had the homemade kind, it's like
actually
canned stuff.
I like the canned stuff, but I'm the one who makes the cranberries.
Oh, okay.
My wife likes the homemade stuff, so I make the homemade stuff, and I always put a little orange zest in it. That really kind of kicks it up.
Oh yeah, I'll have to have my wife do that next time. Yeah. She always makes the cranberry sauce, but I like the canned stuff too. But if I have my choice between the two, it'd be the homemade stuff.
Absolutely. Michael Soost is with us from the frozen north, Minnesota as well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
What have you been up to since last we were together, and how was Thanksgiving, and what's traditions like in the Soost household?
Traditions for food is typically, the standard turkey, green bean casserole, for those who know what that is, and dressing and
I should have eaten before the show. May have to end this early so I can go have dinner. I'm getting hungry listening to all this.
Yep. And if my sister's ambitious enough, we have lefse, homemade, for the Norwegians out there.
Always at our house.
Okay, for those non-Scandinavians like myself, what is lefse?
It's just potatoes and flour and I'm trying to think of butter creamer. You kind of make it and you roll it out and fry it. It's pretty flat, and you fry it up on an iron, and then it's you kind of roll it up. Some people, we just put butter on it, but some people put butter and sugar or butter and brown sugar on it and roll it up. And it's my dad calls it flat potato pancakes because he's German. So, but pretty much potatoes and flour.
Is it like intended as a dessert or appetizer, or what's
like bread more?
Oh, like a bread.
There you go.
Okay.
We take and put some sausage and scrambled eggs in it, little hot sauce, and we call them Norwegian breakfast tacos.
Okay. That sounds cool. All right, good deal.
Yep. So
very good. William, how was you've done all sorts. Wait, we're going to save you because you've done a ton of stuff since last we were together. So you're last. I want to hear the story from France. Stuart, how about yourself? You're in Florida now. So what's
and no family, so
a whole new Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah, I went to somebody else's house. It was great. All I had to do was bring a pie, and I was given a pie by my realtor. Anyway, the realtor was giving out pies, so I took a pie.
Don't have to clean up after yourself. Perfect.
No, didn't have to clean up after myself. Just had to drive an hour. But anyway, before I forget, John, where's your daughter going to go to church in Seward? Hopefully not in Seward. Hopefully she goes to Good Shepherd in Lincoln. If she has.
I don't know.
Well, if she wants a good church, she needs to go to Good Shepherd in Lincoln. If she wants a happy clappy, you know, like your church, happy clappy, she can stay in Seward. Anyway.
I'm going to have to drive home every weekend for church out here.
Okay. That's even better.
Nice. All right. So Donny, what was aside from the Lessa, what was the fare for you guys at Thanksgiving?
Well, we went to my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, who lives diagonally about as far across the cities as we can get. It took us about an hour to get there, but it's good roads, more traffic than I thought, but we had my wife brought a couple pies she made. We didn't take the huckleberry pies because we saved that for us because they don't appreciate it. My brother-in-law's wife is Mexican, but it was turkey, gravy, some ham, cranberry sauce, deviled eggs, a good fare. And then I've already, since we almost always do Thanksgiving with my wife's family, half of me plus two other siblings live here in the Twin Cities. So I've already set something up for the eve of Christmas Eve, which is a Saturday this year. So, other than that, no shooting. I've been working way too much. Peter was here on his break from seminary. He's working on his paperwork for vicarage, which will start. It can start anytime after the 1st of July. And he has put his preferences in as the Dakotas or Montana was his preferences. So he'll probably end up in Florida or something. He'll be in Florida. Like that. Yeah. He's actually in Fort Wayne tonight. It's the Concordia Invitational Tournament for basketball, and he's the basketball manager.
Okay.
And they have a good team this year. We also got to hear one of his professors from his homiletics professor from seminary. He was up here speaking, and that was fun too. So he went there today, and it's Fort Wayne, St. Louis, Wisconsin, Synod Seminary in Milwaukee area, and Independent Baptist Bible College that enjoys it more than anything else. which they're younger and they're not very good, but they really like coming to the tournament. So, and it's supposed to be fun. So,
well, good.
They probably don't join in the beer afterwards, but probably most of them probably aren't old enough to.
Probably not. William, let's talk Thanksgiving first before we get into Normandy, because Normandy sounds like it was awful lot of fun and amazing. So what is a typical Thanksgiving at the Swenson household, or is it different households every year? What did you do this year, and what do you typically do?
This year we were in Belgium, and so we had traditional Belgian fare. It was a chicken soup and a roast, and then some other dish. I can't think of what it was, but we had just been out wandering all day and went to a local restaurant that serves traditional Belgian food, Belgian food, I guess. But real low key. I mean, our Airbnb was a stone's throw from a castle. So we could hang out the window and look and see that. So that was kind of fun. We walked past that on the way to the restaurant. I don't know if we really have a traditional one. Like, do we have a traditional meal? Like most years we do a turkey and a lot of the basic stuff.
Right.
But we've been in so many places during this time of the year in the last few years that we just don't have a current tradition that this is what everyone expects. Yeah. Nothing that everybody expects.
Right. Before we get to Normandy, ours was the typical, well, it wasn't, it was the typical half empty nest Thanksgiving. We typically have, since we moved to Texas, it's just the four of us. So when we were in North Carolina, it was crazy because we had family all over the state and they all expected us to come. So it was like 3 meals on Thanksgiving Day. And then, we would have the sleep of death afterwards and sleep for about 16 hours from all the tryptophan and all the grandmothers saying, "Oh, you haven't had anything to eat," and, shoving more food in your face. But since we've been here, it's just us and the kids. And this year my son's off on his own. So he was doing his thing with his girlfriend's family all day on Thursday. And so it was just the three of us, my wife and my daughter. And then we did it again on Friday with my son. So it was kind of like old times, feeling stuffed and wanting to sleep all the time. So, but it was good. It was good. All right. So when we were together last, Will, you were sitting in an airport, in Atlanta, preparing to embark on a flight to France. Your family, with your wife, was already there with the kids, and they had been tooling about and enjoying the sights. And I sent you a video about something that we mentioned in the Hangout, a place that you might want to visit because you were going to Normandy. Tell us about that trip, because that sounds amazing.
So for me, it was 2 weeks. So for me and my oldest, it was 2 weeks. My wife and the two younger was a little over 3 weeks. When we planned the trip, I only had a very limited amount of time off. Since then, we'd already bought our tickets and everything and had it all planned out. I lost that job, and so we didn't want to pay the money to change everything. So, but because of that, we traveled separately. They actually got to do the Paris catacombs, which I still want to do, and the Louvre, but I still haven't done that one either. So I want to go back. But the first week we were there, we have friends in rural Normandy, about 45 minutes from Mont Saint Michel. Okay. And they planned to do about 5 years of living off the land, homesteading, and that was about 27 years ago. So they're looking to actually legitimately retire. So we went out and watched their 230 some odd animals for a week while they went to Malta looking for real estate and something like that to retire in. So we were doing that, and we did get a chance. My middle child and I had a daddy date up to Point du Hoc up on the Normandy coast. It's a very steep cliff. we happened to know someone from church whose great uncle was the leader of the 116th Ranger Battalion that stormed the beach and took Point du Hoc. And his picture's there, and he's named there. And so I took Theo, and we went and we took a lot of pictures and took some video, and really just did this thing for a friend of ours whose family is literally memorialized there at Point du Hoc. And then we went to the D-Day Museum, and that was so cool. There's it's located at Dead Man's Corner, which the short version is an American tank was shot and disabled there, and
right in front of that house that is now
right in front of that house. And he was trying to get out, and he was just literally dangling out of the now dead tank, and it just became known as Dead Man's Corner. And so that building and the building behind it is a museum. And they have an airplane that was featured in Band of Brothers, and they've turned it into a gimbal recreation of taking off and going into war. And so you go into this staging room, and they've got this 3D holographic image of a corporal or someone who's maybe a general who's prepping everyone who's going on this mission. And he walks you through what to expect. Then you all walk onto the airplane, and you sit down and buckle in, and it starts to move, and you feel it. And all the windows are different computer screens, and it looks like you're taking off and flying, and you feel the explosions around you. I mean, it's really cool. So that was a really exciting thing just to get to go and do it. It's in this old airplane that was like a legitimate airplane. It was very cool. We ended up buying some.
That was a C-47 transport that was actually used, I think, in episode 2 of Band of Brothers.
Okay, that's more detailed than I had, but yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah.
The
video I sent you, he talked about how amazing it was, but they wouldn't let him film, so you didn't have an idea. I suspected it was something like that, like you're describing.
I filmed.
Ooh, very cool.
I'll send you some things.
Okay, excellent.
Maybe I'll upload it to the chat for this evening's chat. So the Facebook Messenger chat.
Awesome. All right.
So that was very cool, and I really appreciate the suggestion, because that just made that day even more amazing. And I got Theo some dog tags, and they made it on a legitimate old school machine. And I've got a video of that too. They're typing it out, and it's like it was the one of the old dog tag machines that's still functional. Super cool.
Really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that video on History Traveler and was blown away by that museum, because the Dead Man's Corner Museum by itself is amazing. For those who have not seen this, that house served as an aid station and an HQ for the Germans during the Normandy invasion, and later became an American HQ. And there's even a story, I don't know whether you saw this guy's display, but there is a story of an American paratrooper who actually took shrapnel in the eye and was wandering around trying to figure out what to do, and saw the Red Cross on this building and walked in, and it's full of Germans.
Oh my gosh.
And they treated him, and he was liberated when that position was overrun. He didn't get killed. They have all of his stuff, including the piece of shrapnel that the Germans dug out of his eye.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
The entire museum is filled with legitimate, not reproduction, World War II artifacts. Clothing, uniforms, pocket litter, helmets, all sorts of things. It's very cool.
They've taken mannequins and posed them in correct positions and set up huge life-size dioramas in every room.
Yes.
So with that, all of that authentic gear to show you what that house looked like during the battle. And
it's
just looks
very
amazing.
cool. And if you end up in Normandy, it's well worth the time. Plan for 3 to 4 hours. You can make it through there in less than an hour, really. But the video is about an hour or an hour and 20 or something like that. And we didn't have time for that.
There's so much stuff. I don't know.
The D-Day experience plane gimbal thing was only 25 minutes. But they only do it certain parts of the day. So if you miss a window, you got to have enough time to wait for the next window. Really, really worth it.
Very cool. Well, I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you're back safe. And I'm glad you were able to secrete some video from the presentation. All right, so Dan jumped ahead of us earlier in his excitement, but let's. I didn't get a good look at the label. So, what is everybody drinking tonight, Dan? What do you got? All right, we cannot hear you, but Lefroy. Okay,
how we doing now?
There we go.
Yeah,
Lefroy Select.
It was like about $20 off. And I saw that and I says there, it might be time for a little treat. Okay. You know,
take advantage of the savings.
You take advantage of the savings. Yeah, this is, in fact, in the small print says the most richly flavored of all Scotch whiskeys. Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
I started to say, does it live up to the expectations, or?
It's a real peaty, smoky, Island Scotch. I mean, it's pretty robust.
Pastor Bennett obviously had a little.
I have. I like a good peated malt. And the Lefroy is so heavy on that smoky flavoring that I got to add a little bit of ice to it just to tone it down.
Perfect.
It's good stuff. You buy a bottle of that, and you also, it comes with a square foot of land in Scotland. So if you buy a bottle of Lefroy, you're a landowner in Scotland too.
I have the title of Lord because of that whole buy a square foot thing. My wife did that last year for me.
Oh, that's cool.
So when my kids really want something, I'll give them the look and they'll say, Lord, Papa, William, Daddy, and they'll go through all the things. So, and if they really want something, they'll even throw sire into the mix.
Yes, always request sire.
I wonder if you buy a couple cases, they can make all your square feet, congruent so that you could, or consecutive, so that you can
go lay down,
build yourself a nice little, 12 by 12 shack there or something. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Well, it's like you say, Mr. Bennett. You need a few ice cubes in it to smooth it out, or at least for me anyway. Yeah.
If you're looking for one that's not terribly expensive and it's got just the right amount of smoke, it's called Talisker Storm.
Yeah.
Talisker Storm. Oh, you have?
I have been there. We did the tour at Talisker, and I probably have some video on it too. I'll look for that in my old phone. But Talisker is beautiful. It's on Sky. Is it on Sky or is it near Sky? I think it's on Sky.
It's on the. It's the only distillery on the Isle of Skye.
Yep. So we went there and we spent like 2.5 or 3 hours there. Did the tour and everything. It's well worth it. Sky is all that they say and more.
So, Pastor, I know you're not partaking this evening. So give us a recommendation. Well, you just did Talisker Storm.
Yeah, it's a good one. I've already recommended this before, the Members Mark brand of Canadian whiskey at Sam's Club. Good stuff. Another good one is, and I really haven't seen it in quite some time. Oh, crud. What's it called now? I can't even remember the name of it. I can't remember the name, and I haven't even been drinking. So anyway, there's a...
Old age.
Brain
Yeah.
is not deep enough.
Dubliner Irish whiskey is another good one.
Okay.
Dubliner is amazing. And they have a
It
honey
is.
one as well that is not kick you in the
The
teeth.
Drambuie?
It's
No,
so
that's not...
smooth.
Is
Drambuie
it
is Scotch.
Drambuie or... Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I was
know
going to say.
Drambuie,
That's not familiar to me. The
Drambuie,
Dubliner,
it's a Scottish...
Look
It's
here.
Scotch that's mixed with like a honey mead.
Ooh.
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
there's a pub and a hotel in DC called the Dubliner, and they have a relationship with a distiller out in the Dublin area, and they actually make specific store like house whiskey and house honey whiskey that you can buy there at the hotel and
Nice.
the bar downstairs. And the honey one was probably the best I've ever had. It's like I said, it's sweet, but it's not sugary, it's not syrupy, it's not kick you in the teeth. It just tastes good, and you want to you want to enjoy it.
Nice. All right, Stuart. How about you? What do you got tonight?
Well,
And
Tonight I'm drinking a Welsh whiskey, Penderyn.
Penderyn.
It's a very. This one is the Madeira, aged in Madeira barrels. Very mild. It's strong but mild. I guess they have a PD one too. I don't know. I was just looking it up. And Pastor Reese from Tacoma told me about it
okay.
in the Lutheran Cigar Ministerial Association.
Is that one of the secret societies that you?
Yeah, it's a secret
pastors have?
society. Yeah, of those who enjoy cigars.
Nice.
That counts John out because he can't have any fun anymore.
I enjoy cigars.
But you're not allowed to have fun anymore, John. Your heart and everything.
Well, the doctor did say on holy days. So, if the Lord has sanctified the day, it is thus holy. So I should be able to imbibe on a daily basis, should I not?
Yes, you should.
It's Bottega or Monte Cristo.
I'll have to send you a link to it.
All right.
I'm interested to try Michael Knoll's new line of Mayflower cigars. I'd like to.
Oh, I'd like to try one of those.
I did see that. I have not.
Hi, Silas.
I got to make a note of that. too.
In my circles, we call that Brothers of the Leaf.
Okay. I like it. I forgot about the Mayflower cigars. I got to look those up again. William, what you got tonight?
I'm working on some Maker's Mark.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah, an old classic. We're at my in-laws right now. My wife's watching some Hallmark movie based in Norway. And we're like, oh my God, man, that's so cool. So I was like, I'm just going to tiptoe out to the other room and jump on the call. Trust me, they don't miss me in there.
Did
not
you
while
see the
Hallmark
latest
movies are on.
Babylon Bee headline about how the researchers at Hallmark are on the verge of a breakthrough of finding a second plot for movies?
Yeah.
I just was
That's
trying a
not
Hallmark movie channel for the next month for my wife. So
The ones you find on YouTube just aren't the same. It's more
No.
fun to make fun of the actual Hallmark.
Yeah, definitely.
I won't go into detail, but I don't know if y'all are familiar with a TV show called Tosh.0. Kind of crass, so definitely not in your normal Lutheran circles. An old colleague from about 6 years ago turned me on to him. Comedy, but crass. But he had a whole series of posts about the new directions that Hallmark was going in. It's satire, it's fake, but yeah, just about anything depraved you can think of, they had a little like meme for it, and it was most of them were hilarious, a couple of them were disturbing, but Hallmark is a source of humor.
Which reminds me, before we get to the next drink recommendation, so I don't forget this, And the mention of Michael Knowles reminds me, have you seen the trailer for Lady Ballers?
Yes.
Oh my God. And that is premiering tonight. So I cannot.
It is.
I got to see that.
It started an hour and 45 minutes ago.
Yes, it looks hilarious. So if you don't know what we're talking about, go look it up. The trailer is it's the kind of comedy that we just don't make anymore.
But we
haven't made.
Matt Walsh as a flaming homo with a man bun is just perfect.
Oh, I know. No, apparently nobody. They reached out to actors to play parts in the movie, and nobody would do it. Even people who are on our side and who agree with the premise of the movie were like, "I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole."
Wow.
And so they decided, well, what if we just all of us did it? So the whole thing comes together in like a month. And they filmed the whole thing. They used basically everyone except for Candace Owens, who is apparently in the doghouse lately because of some of her anti-Semitic stuff. But everybody else is in the movie, and it's all cameo. Well, there's cameos from like
Ted Cruz is in there,
Cruz and a couple of others, but for the most part, it's all the actor or all of the personalities from the Daily Wire, and it
looks amazing.
Amazing. It looks like Tropic Thunder all over again, kind of that level of just the kind of stuff we can't do anymore. They decided we're going to do it because we've got to have comedy, and so it looks hilarious.
Now, what is this called?
It's called Lady Ballers.
Oh, I saw that.
And
I saw the trailer.
Yes, go check out the trailer. You will absolutely laugh yourself silly. It's a bunch of old high school teammates who decide, hey, we can identify as women now and we'll just go dominate women's sports. And it is absolutely looks hilarious. I hope it's funny. All right. Guillaume, what are you
Well, we're having our bobo tea.
Okay.
Yeah, you see those little tapioca pearls down there at the bottom,
pearls.
Nice and chewy.
All right. Haven't spanked that with anything.
No, but I did have my wife did have some homemade makgeolli that I made for her earlier. So
nice.
It's a Korean rice wine thing.
Okay. All right. Donny, how about you? I started to call you KJ7.
Yeah. Well, I've got some North Fork rye tonight.
All right.
And named after the North Fork of the Flathead River, which starts in British Columbia and flows through the Flathead Valley into Flathead Lake. So
nice.
So
nice.
That's it. I got it. You can only buy it at the distillery, which is in Coram, Montana. And good luck.
That's right. You brought back a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I brought back 3 bottles, some huckleberry whiskey, some jalapeno whiskey, and this North Fork rye this time. We keep a good stock of it around since we discovered the place. Actually, it was one of the guy who lives out in Washington State, the pastor.
Freeman?
Yeah.
Yep.
He had some
Daniel?
one night. His daughter lives in the Flathead, so
okay.
Yeah,
right.
so it's pretty good. I hadn't tried it before. We could never get it the last 2 times I was there because it was out of stock. But I got it.
They don't ship?
They don't. I don't believe it's legal for them to ship from Montana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that jalapeno sounds interesting. How's that?
It's good. I use it to make Bloody Marys and Caesars with.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. I've also at the distillery had a frozen margarita made with it, and that was good too. But we kind of like the Huckleberry Bear Proof in our margaritas. It's a nice flavor. And then we make something called a Montana Mule, which has huckleberry
Nice.
flavoring. It has the huckleberry liquors in it.
Okay. Nice. That kind of the jalapeno thing kind of reminds me of what is that, Pastor?
It's the old smoky
Old
mango
smoke-
habanero.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, well, that sounds good too.
it is.
We had wonderful pepper
delicious.
crop this year, so we have no lack of spice in our house.
Nice. That's my favorite kind of spice. Mike, what about you? What have you got going on tonight?
All right, so I'm a newbie. This is clear. I could say it's vodka, but I'd be lying. So I'm not. But I am sporting your koozie there. So I appreciate you
Don't
sending.
call it a koozie. You'll get me
Okay,
sued.
whatever. What do I call it?
I used to call
Warn
them
me.
koozies, and I got a cease and desist letter about.
Oh
what's it
wow.
been, Pastor? 6 years, probably. It was like 2 years into the show,
Yeah,
and we
something
get a
like
cease
that,
and
yeah.
desist that says stop using the term koozie because that is trademarked. And we were like, what? Everybody calls it a
Hey.
koozie, but apparently
Kleenex.
so
Hand me a Kleenex.
can
Yeah, my brother-in-law used to live out here in Minnesota, and he worked at a place that they did screen printing and that kind of stuff. And this was like 2007, and they had gotten a letter like that, a sternly worded letter from an attorney representing whoever it was that supposedly had the stinking trademark. If you're trademarking words, you got something wrong upstairs in your head.
CPH.
There's a whole other discussion. Mike, how about you? You always have interesting things. What have you brought tonight for show and tell?
It's called the Duchess de Bourgogne.
What?
It's a Flemish ale. I don't know if this will come through or not.
Duchess.
That's probably not going to come through, but it's a 6-month aged and an 18-month aged blend.
Okay.
But it's a little sour. I don't know if it'll show up or not. Zoom is being stupid.
Yeah.
But
All right.
it's interesting. It's something different. I mean, when first time you try it, you're a little bit like, whoa. And after you sip on it a little bit, it grows on you, and it's become a favorite for. I bring it to a couple of things, and people have come to enjoy it.
Nice. Okay. Very good. Well, I finally took Steve Clifford's advice and went out and got a bottle of Texas whiskey. Living in Texas, I don't know why I've never gotten this before. We finally have our first liquor store here in town, which is also owned by the people who own the largest Browning gun safe showroom in Texas, which is a whole brand new business that just opened in our little sleepy town. And they also own the liquor store right next door, and they store some of their most expensive stuff in gigantic gun safes in the liquor store. I walked in
Sweet.
to get some stuff, just to look around. I'd never been there, and I was like, okay, you've got gun safes. I guess you bought them from next door. And I got to talking to the guy behind the counter, and he's like, oh yeah, it's owned by the same people, and we keep the really expensive stuff in the gun safes.
Actually, that's the second most use for a gun safe is for liquor storage, especially for those people who have teenagers around. The people from Liberty told us that is the second most use of gun safe when I was selling them.
I am not surprised.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want your teenager running off with $100 bottle of scotch and passing it around to his friends.
Right.
They probably mix it with Coke or something stupid like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, all right. Well, we're running up on what time is? I've got military time up here, and
I have the dime.
I've been drinking, so it's almost 9. So what's for our pastors among us? We've got Advent coming up. What and you'll have to work 2 days a week. So what's December look like for everybody? We've got to try to do a December hangout before January. What does December look like for everyone?
I'd be good doing it like the Friday after Christmas.
Okay. Let me get my calendar. Guillaume, what about you?
Well, I mean, we have our Advent service 6, and that only lasts to 7. So if you meet at 8, doesn't really matter.
Let's see. We'll try not to do on a Wednesday. I like John, I like your idea. The 29th. Does that work for everybody?
I think that's the day I'm going down to Austin. So I might not be able to make it on that day if that's the case.
Okay. What in the world's bringing you to Austin?
An airplane. But my wife is driving. I'm flying because I've got some travel credits that need to be used up. But my wife's driving, and we're probably going to hit Louisiana on the way back because the kids have not been. But my best friend from Southern California, from my second grade forward, something like that. He moved out to Texas, and so he's out in. He was in Round Rock, then he was somewhere else. He's in the Austin area. I forget where he's at now.
Round Rock,
Georgetown.
I'd have to look it up. And the phone that I'm using for
Louisiana,
just on the western side, just to say we've been to Louisiana because the kids haven't been yet.
like Natchitoches, Charles.
I'd have to look on a map because I just don't know.
No,
my wife
William,
mentioned it today in passing.
You mentioned Southern California. Are you from Southern California?
Unfortunately, yes.
What part?
I grew up in Orange County, so
Okay.
it was technically Anaheim, but it was unincorporated Anaheim, so it was Garden Grove, Stanton, Westminster area.
Okay. I'm originally from the Valley, Sylmar. If you know where Sylmar is,
Sylmar, yes.
it's a shithole, but that's okay. I'm glad I don't live there anymore.
Speaking of which, I have to mention, I didn't watch it, but I've seen the replay of the interaction, the debate between DeSantis and Newsom the other night. And DeSantis holds up the poop map from California.
Yes.
Where there's so much poop that they actually that someone's created a map to show you where it all is. Of course, they cleaned it up for the communist dictator when he came to town, but it's probably back.
Of course, because Newsom's a fellow traveler.
Yes, exactly. I don't know what made me think of that. The poop thing. Anyway, all right. So let's do the 29th, and I will write that down so I don't forget it. And okay, where's my phone? Let's give away a prize.
I had one thing I wanted to say.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, I went the other day. I keep getting funds requests from the seminary, and I went on there and said give now, and there's my son's picture. He's the poster boy for the seminary. And an Armed Lutheran member.
Rights?
Nice.
Did you give?
Yeah, I had to. That pops up. I have to. Not that I don't give a lot anyway to help.
A little guilt trip there.
Yeah.
They probably put everybody's. If your kid is at the seminary, they probably have some algorithm that puts your kid's picture up. So that
actually, they didn't, because I knew it was there because my pastor showed me.
Okay, well,
Maybe
they ought to
geolocate the location that you're logging in from or whatever, your IP address. And
what a great idea! They ought to do that. Then they'll guilt trip every website visitor into donating. Look, your kid, you could be helping him. Okay, so random number between 1 and 100. Dan,
50.
Oh, you cheat. Right down the middle. Stuart.
13.
Oh, I was going to pick that.
Oh, wasn't too bad.
All right, William. Well, how about you?
22.
All right, Guillaume.
My age.
All right, you're muted.
86.
86. All right, Donny.
54.
54.
Where are you?
Mike.
55. I had that in my head from the beginning, I promise.
Okay.
There's a cluster around the 50s.
Right. You're gonna make it hard for me. Mike.
73.
73. Only two. All right. So here we go. 75.
Ooh.
Mike is our winner.
Yeah,
Be sending you
Congratulations.
I'm
first
still
thought was
waiting for
72.
mine, by the way.
I know. I am such a slacker. I've got to send you one. I've got to send one to Dan. And by the way, for those who don't know, prayers for Dan Velt, who is usually a member because his father passed away this week, and for Pastor Paul Kane out in Wyoming, who was a contributor to the book and is a member as well. His father passed this week as well. So keep those families in your prayers. All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time. And it's always fun to get to see you. And Guillaume, good to see you again. Glad to get you back in here. And Dan, good to see you again. It's been too long. Mike, welcome.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Which Mike? yeah, Mike Thomas, welcome.
Mike Thomas.
It was a face I didn't recognize. So
I generally don't call Michael Mike, even though it says Mike on the screen. In my head, it's Michael Soost. I don't, for some reason. Do you typically prefer Mike or Michael? You put it on the screen, so it must be Mike. So I'm going to be nice. I've got to be.
Informally, it's Mike everywhere.
Okay.
Only thing I get pickier about is like formal occasions.
We're among friends, so
exactly.
It's Mike from here on out.
I'm good at
guys.
that.
Thank you guys so much for your support, and thanks for coming and hanging out again. And I look forward to seeing you again after Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you in advance.
Merry Christmas.
Yep. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And we'll safe travels to you next month or later this month. And next time you're in Texas, make sure it's Dallas area north so we can get together.
Dallas area north. So let's see here. If I'm looking at this, Dallas is going to be
4 hours.
We might drive through Dallas area, but my wife's driving through on the way down. But if we do hit Louisiana, we're probably not going to go through Dallas on the way back.
No, yeah. Yep. Don't go out of the way, but next time you have a trip planned to Texas,
we'll make plans to stop in the Dallas area north.
Cool. Sounds good.
Sweet.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. God bless.
Pastor.
Cheers.
See you next time.
For show notes, be sure to visit our website at www.armedlutheran.us. Check out the Facebook page, The Armed Lutheran, or join our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio. If you like what you hear, please leave us a comment on our feedback page at armedlutheran.us/feedback or a review on iTunes and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Armed Lutheran Radio, a member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.